Come on and sing with me. How great, how great, sing with me. How great, how great is thy love. All of thee, how great, how great, how great is thy love. Come on and put your hands together, worship Him. Oh, 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 oh. And again, how great, how great is thy love. Sing with me, how great is thy love. All will see how great, how great, is thy love. Yes, it is. All right, let's stand up. Right stand up. Those other people there. I lift my hand. I lift my hand to give you glory. To give you glory. I lift my hand. I lift my hand to give you praise. I'll praise you, Lord. I'll praise you, Lord. I'll praise you, Lord. I'll praise you, Lord. I will praise you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I clap my hands, I clap my hands, to give you glory, to give you glory. I clap my hands, I clap my hands, to give you praise, to give you praise. I'll praise you, Lord, I'll praise you, Lord, I'll praise you, Lord, will you praise? Yeah, yeah. I lift my voice, I lift my voice. I lift my voice, I lift my voice, give you praise, I praise you, Lord, 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 when you praise my Lord, when you praise my Lord, praise you, Lord, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I love you, Lord. I love you, Lord. I love you, Lord. I love you, Lord. I praise you, Lord. I praise you, Lord. I praise you, Lord. I praise you, Lord. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pastor Tim. I hope that your presence is felt in this church and just feel it in this church, Lord, and just we thank you and just let everyone get something out of this lesson today, Lord. And in your name I pray, amen. I'll take you in your presence as we wait on our joy is restored in your presence as we worship. I'll pick it up, peace again. Nothing your presence, as we trust, nothing, nothing, separate us. Lord is with us, Lord is with us. Our God will never fail. The Lord is with us, the Lord is with us. Our God will never fail. Will never fail. He will never fail. Never fail. He's defeated all, covering all. He's put all things underneath our feet. He has conquered death and given us victory. He's defeated all, covering enemies. He has put all things underneath our feet. He has conquered death and given us victory. Whoa, the Lord is with us. The Lord is with us. Our God is for us. He will never fail. The Lord is with us. The Lord is with us. Our God is for us. He will never fail. Oh, never fail. Never fail. Never fail. Never fail. Every step we take. The Lord is with us every move we make. The Lord is with us every step we take. The Lord is with us every move we make. The Lord is with us every step we take. The Lord is with us every move we make. The Lord is with us every step we take. The Lord is with us every move we make. The Lord is with us. The Lord is with us. Our God is for us. He will never fail. The Lord is with us. The Lord is with us. Our God is for us. He will never fail. No, never fail. Never fail. Never fail. Never fail. Never fail. Today I'm doing a responsive reading from the book of Psalms. Lord, who may abide in your tabernacle? Who may dwell in your holy will? Congregation. He who does not backbite with his tongue, nor does evil to his neighbor, nor does he take up a reproach against his friend. Congregation. He who swears to his own hurt and does not change. He who does not put out his money at usury, nor does he take a bribe against the innocent. All he does things shall never be moved. I'll be reading the word of the Lord today. It comes from Mark 10, verses 13 through 16. Then they brought little children to him, that he might touch them. But the disciples rebuked those who brought them. But when Jesus saw it, he was greatly displeased, and said to them, let the little children come to me, and do not forbid them, for of such is the kingdom of God. Assuredly, I say to you, whoever does not receive the kingdom of God as a little child will by no means enter it. And he took them up in his arms, laid his hands on them, and blessed them.
Today in Sunday school, what I got out of the lesson was
I need to come humble before God, and as a child believes anything that their parent tells them and trust them fully without any question to go to God that way.
I got you, Naya. I got you. Okay, in case you haven't noticed, today is Youth Sunday, 4th Sunday. Y'all give a round of applause for our youth, please. Yes. Please continue to encourage them in everything that they do for the Lord, even if it's something as simple as reading, because this is what we want them to do. This is what we're trying to show them is what has true value and worth in this world. Not how many home runs they get, how many three-pointers, how many A's in the report card. Yes, all those things are good and well. But will their life praise and worship the Lord? That's what we're after. Okay? So Sunday school is at 9:30 to 10:30 every Sunday. The elder people like myself and most of you, we're now meeting here in the sanctuary. Okay? But before we meet here, we have breakfast. Every Sunday morning, we have a hot breakfast. That starts at 8:30 and goes to 9:15. We want to run out of food every Sunday. We want to have to go to the store. We want to have to spend more money on food. We want you to exhaust the resources of the church because you're here to eat both physically and spiritually. Amen? So come out and join us. All right.
Never made a way out of no way for you. And like, looking back now, you don't know how you got here. You don't know what happened, like, form your life. You actually can be encouraged. I know for me, there was a transformation moment. They be talking about that miracle. It's really a miracle that I am. Like, only by the saving power what he did for me. After that, I became one of his. And not to stand here unashamed of my past, unashamed of my good fortune, unashamed of all the things that I'm not because of what I am. You get nothing else out of the day. All the same. My God, that is good. My God, that is good. Stay with me, I call him Waymaker. Oh, yeah. My God. Have you ever been a way maker? Oh, yeah. I'm a keeper. My God. You are here. Come on, play with me, Waymaker. I'm a my God. Come on, lift your voice and sing, Light in the darkness, one more time. Your word, even when I don't see your word, you never stop, you never stop, you never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see your word, even when I don't see your word again, you never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop. Stay with me. When I don't see your word. I don't need your word again. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't need your word, even when I don't need your word again. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. When I don't see it, when I don't see it, I don't feel you. When I don't your word, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. I don't see it, Lord. I don't feel it, your word. I don't feel you moving in me. You don't stop, you don't stop. Yeah, yeah. You never stop, you never stop. Come on now. Mama, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Come on, sing with y'all sound good out there. Sound like you know it this morning. Sound like you made a way for you at some point. And even when you didn't see it, you didn't care. Even when you didn't feel it, you didn't care. When I get on my knees and I don't feel it, I tell him, I don't care if you're not dancing, I'm going to keep talking to you. Because nowhere else can I go but to my God. So glad you know this. Y'all, before you leave here, I hope you are claiming this. Jesus Christ, He has come to be your way maker, your miracle worker, and the light in the darkness. Amen. That's just who He is. He can't help himself. That's just who He is. Regardless of what I am, that is who He is. Let's have our babies come down. PK through 5th grade. Y'all come on down, babies. Amen. Okay, everybody here? Listen. Okay, they're coming. All right today? Yes? All right.
How's your book? Camille?
Hold on, y'all. I'm sweating. It's hard to change out of clothes in 5 minutes. Okay. So, we skipped last week to learn about what? Yes. And what was the love called? Agape love. Thank you. All right. And does anybody know what agape love means? That love will never fail as long as it's from God. All right. Okay. Now, as you can see, we are back on creation. And can anybody tell me what the first day was? It was light darkness. Okay, what's the second day? Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, what was number 3? Thank you, Lincoln. Second day. The day and night was first. Okay, we're going to skip the recap. All right, so for the 6th day, what did he do? I don't know, we're going to have to find out. All right, I need somebody to come pray for me, please.
Good morning. All right, it's now time to worship and tithe and offerings. We go ahead and have our ushers to come forward. I have a few announcements. They're all found in your bulletin. The first one is Daughters of the King, Mother-Daughter Tea Party. Saturday, March 28th from 1 to 3. Now, this is if you have girls from the ages of 2 years up through 6th grade. Y'all are invited to a tea party. It's going to be held here in the fellowship hall. So come out. Sounds like fun, not for me, but for y'all. Amen? All right. Saturday, April 4th, Aspire Women's Conference also will be held here at the church. Yes. Yes. That starts at 6 o'clock. Tickets are now available. See the church website or see Miss Deborah. and she will get you fixed up. Amen? Okay, now the important announcement. Pay attention. Men's retreat, March 12th through the 15th. We are full. Right? Actually, we got one too many, so we'll figure out what we're going to do there. But I got a way that I think we should do it, but we'll figure that out. So we have too many men going on the men's retreat, but we're going to figure it out. We'll all just eat a little bit less. We'll all just, we'll do it like that. Okay, we'll figure that out. Watoto is coming Friday, March the 20th. Yes. Please continue to talk that up. Please continue to spread the word. I believe all of our homes are covered, correct, Miss Carla? We could use one more host home. It's very easy. You just take them to your home. They go to sleep by themselves. They brush their own teeth. They wash their own hair. It's easy. Then you bring them back to the church the next day. That's it. That's it. So if you can do that for us, please see Miss Carla, because that is a need that needs to be filled today, hopefully. Okay? Today. There is one more announcement in the bulletin. It says continuing education, eBay 101. Okay, so first let me back up to the continuing education part. So we're going to be having a few courses to continue our education as it relates to things that come up in life, like eBay. A lot of y'all don't know about eBay. I personally do. Things like credit. You may or may not be a credit expert. Somebody in the church may be, so you can come and glean that information. Yes, ma'am. Okay, I will clarify this. But first, pray. Yes, you pray regardless of what we're talking about. You always pray first. If you are an expert at something and you're like, people need to know this, let Benjamin Roberts know. He's the beautiful bald one up there in the top. Let Ben know, because not all of us are experts at everything, correct? And we can sharpen each other in this and help each other out in growing how to do things. So eBay, back to eBay, Ms. Carla. You will learn things like how to purchase items, how not to purchase items, okay? Because there is a good way and a bad way to do that. You'll learn things to look for. If you're interested in learning how to list things on eBay, you will learn that as well. You will learn all of Ben Roberts' secrets as it relates to eBay, because I'll ask the questions for you to make him tell you the secrets. So if you want to know anything about eBay, March 7th, 5 p.m. in the fellowship hall, unless we say otherwise between now and then. Amen? Okay. Good morning, Trulette. Jimmy, come on. I don't know if I'm going to make it through this. Let John that I'm going to blame him. If we have an outreach meeting right after church, I told you I wasn't going to make it. You gotta use you. No, you don't deserve. Don't you? I love you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Jimmy Cepeda, and I am part of the laundry outreach.
And it's hard for me, too, as a man of God, not to be here in tears. But Minister James asked me to read one of the cards that they got, and he asked me to choose one. And this really hit me. This person, I believe her name is Twila Ferris. This is from the Odessa laundromat. And she's asking for prayer for health as she just had a kidney transplant. This is one of so many things that we hear in that laundromat outreach. And it brings great joy to our hearts to be able to do this. Who people are just going to expect to do their laundry, get in and get out. But when they see us there, and they, like I said last time, they think we're there to ask for something. But when we give them the laundry card and we tell them there's money in it, we're not asking for anything other than prayer and receive a blessing that blesses us at the same time. And like I said, this is just one of the many things. And also, I may steal James from this, but I just want to welcome a family that was there yesterday. They're here this morning. And there's another family. Yes, Lord. There's also another family from the Odessa outreach that is here as well. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome to the house of the Lord, and I pray that you feel the love that we not only gave you yesterday, but we want to continue that today and every Sunday and every day going forward. Welcome. We also had the privilege, I'm a Sunday school teacher, 3rd and 4th grade, and we had this family's daughter, Malia, in our class. And after we finished, we asked her if she liked it. She said she had a lot of fun. So that blesses our hearts as well. So thank y'all. Thank y'all for coming.
I supposed to say one simple thing, and I can't even get it out. We're gonna have a meeting today after service. If you're on the outreach team, this is a reminder. If you want to be a part of what God is doing, meet us. We'll start right over in this section, and then if we get a chance, we'll just sit there and go through some things right quick. Get a little better organized, because what God is doing, I don't want you to miss out on. I don't want you to miss out on the truth. Like, I just told Pastor this morning how excited I was for him choosing me to do such a thing. And then to see what the Lord did. God bless y'all.
Hey, I just think it's a good time to do this, Cheryl. These are the prayer cards that came from the laundromat. And I guarantee you, promise you 10 times over, they will be thoroughly prayed for by some of the strongest prayer warriors on the planet. But this I have to share. I'm going to mess this name up. I got that one. What's her name? Hope Granado. Asked for prayer for a mom with cancer. Not only that, and some of y'all going to feel bad once I share this here. They don't have a washing and dry, but they send in a $5 offering. Yeah. That $5 carry more weight than $5 million in my heart right now. Same in God's heart. I just thought I would share that because I just thank God for being here too. Like, love people, loving God and loving people. And our pastor have charged us to make this a house of prayer, and this is the results. And it's only just the beginning. Amen. God bless. Can I keep the $5? I'm just playing.
Amen. If you're not plugged in, ask somebody. Don't miss out, okay? Amen. Y'all please stand while we pray over our offering.
Dear Lord, I pray for everyone that couldn't give, that could be with this time, and the people that could give, and that would do something out of what Pastor Roy is speaking about today. Amen.
Let me try it again. Good morning, True Light. This is my lovely wife, Trina. We're part of the Crown class, and it's been a blessing. It really has. And we're working on the word honesty, and it hit me where it hurt. The pastor said, God's word will hurt you, meaning to heal you. And just a blessing that I've seen my wife and several other people up today. 1 minute they're down, next minute they're up. But he's working on prayer, and this is the house of prayer. So he's changing my life and hers. I'm just anxious, very anxious. Like I said again, in prayer, my expectations are through the roof, and sometimes I just feel like jumping. But going back to that word, honesty, like I said, God showed me some things about being honest and true to his word. Some things we all say we're going to do and things we're going to say, but being honest. Think about it for a minute. What I have is not mine. It all belongs to God. So the money I make, and I say the money we make, we give unto the Lord. But do I do it cheerfully all the time? No. I'm glad I have that ability now, because I didn't have it. I was nowhere near having it where I am now. It's truly a blessing. I thank Ben, and I thank this church. I thank Pastor Roy and Pastor Rayon and Pastor James and Pastor Michael, so many others. I can't say about his dressing, but Pastor Roy, he's improving. He's improving. But once again, I thank everyone for being here. Just pray for one another. And like I said, it's been truly a blessing. Thank you, Ben, wherever you at. But if y'all ever get a chance to get in that Crown class, open your eyes and see different things. And like I said again, I can't stress it enough, honesty. Being honest with what God has blessed you with. It goes deeper than money or anything, material things. Thank you.
Good morning. This month, for Black History Month, the Youth Choir has decided to present excerpts from true stories from the lives of Christian heroes. These excerpts explore the lives of 4 Black men, their childhood, their tribulations, and their successes for the glory of God. On the first week, we heard from Charles Tinley, and on the second week, we heard from William Seymour. And on the third week, we heard from Thomas Dorsey. And this week, we're going to hear from someone new, me, John Perkins. Good morning, fellas. since it's my day to talk, I thought I'd go back, way back, when I was 12.
Wait. I forgot to tell y'all some stuff from last week. I remember now. So, the year I wrote Precious Lord Take My Hand
I love that song.
is the year my wife, Nettie Harper, and my son Junior died. Yeah, and that's when I really had to start thinking godly. That's when I started writing more spiritual songs, started going to church more. It just changed my life a lot. And so when it changed my life, I didn't do nothing else but go to church, read my Bible. Yeah, and read my Bible and just cry because I miss my wife and son.
Didn't you come to be the father of gospel music?
Yeah,
That's what it was.
yeah,
Gotta shut the star.
yeah. Became the father of gospel music too.
Anyway, enough about you. The Perkins family was sharecroppers like most black folks in Mississippi. And some of us was bootleggers and some of us was gamblers. But unlike a lot of black folks in Mississippi, Perkins wasn't afraid to stand up to no man, especially the white man. John Perkins was tough. I had to be. My mama died when I was 7 months old and my daddy took off, so I lived with my grandmother. And I wasn't religious or nothing, but I did used to hang around the church because that's the only place black folks could get together and socialize. But all that changed when my brother Clyde, he got shot by a white man. And so my family, for my own safety, moved me to California. But before then, I remember a time when me and my cousin Jimmy took a job for this white man who we considered fair-minded. He said he would give us a meal, a whole gallon of syrup and hotcakes for a day's job. And by lunchtime, we were sweating, we was ready for those hotcakes. So we went inside, but the stepmother, she brought us leavings. You know what leavings is? Scraps. You know what I did? I dropped my pitchfork and I walked my hungry behind home. I was going to work for him if he wasn't going to give me what I asked for. And he came to our house and he begged us to come back. He said, I give you a full meal. And so we came back and we worked. And we got that whole gallon of syrup. I considered that my first small push for justice. Later, when I was around 20, I was living in California with my wife. And one night we got a call. And I picked up the phone. It was the middle of the night. I don't know who was calling. And so I picked up the phone and I heard someone on the other side screaming, Doug's beaten. He's been in the Brandon jail. They're beating him. And I didn't know what to do. This was one of the more recent calls we got about the hate crimes happening in Brandon. So I thought I'd put a stop to things. If the white man controlled everything, then why don't we just do a boycott? So we stopped working and we stopped buying. And soon enough, a lot of us got rounded up and put in the jail too. And that's when they beat us. The white man came in and they slapped us and they kicked us and they punched us. But through the bloody noses and the bruised eyes, I could still see them. The hate in their eyes, the viciousness in every swing. But even then, I didn't want to hate them back. That's not what God would have wanted. So I became an advocate against hate crimes following that moment. And soon enough, I was starting churches, cross-ethnic churches, where white folks and black folks get together and worship God. Because it's not God's vision for us to all be separate. I've been thinking a little bit about the stories we'd be telling each other. We were just regular people. And God decided he was going to use us for something good. This faith was going to make us into people who would set a foundation for the glory of God. This faith chose us. We didn't choose it.
And with this faith, we can transform the jangling jangling discords of this nation into a beautiful symphony. With this faith, we can work together. We can pray together. We can struggle together. We can all go to jail together. And we can stand up for freedom together. Knowing that we will all be free one day.
This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to stand up and sing with a new meaning, my country, 'tis of thee. And this will be the day when we let freedom ring, when we let it ring from every city and from every state. We'll be able to speed up the day when all of God's children, black and white, will be able to join hands and sing the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, God Almighty, free at last. Thank you.
All we know there is all we know
Group of young men right there.
Lord for that. When the people of God start being obedient to God, that's what you see. That's the results. I just thank God for our leadership. Also, this shows you how these young men are being led. Now, the young men have a clue about what just took place. So I thank God that they're in a place where they can grow even as young men. Amen. Praise the Lord. We're going to lift up our pastor today. Man, what can I say? This is our vision. This is our hope. This is our strength. And we are honored. I am definitely honored to be upon his leadership, upon his care, upon his steadfastness, unmovable spirit, uncompromising, anointed man of God. So, Father God, I just come to you now, lifting him up, Father God. I also think the pastor didn't need prayer. They didn't need things of this nature. But I also realize they're human because he's vulnerable with us. He don't ask us to do anything he wouldn't do himself. And he lead by example, strong example. And he encourage that in every man in this church to be a strong spiritual leader at home, to carry his family. And I thank you for his leadership, Lord God. I thank you, Father God, for him giving to the Lord. Many lives have been changed. Many men have been transformed into mighty warriors for their family, priests of their homes. That's no small thing. And it's intentional. And it's on purpose. And I thank God that he's my shepherd. So, Father God, right now, speak to him. Father God, speak through him. I plead the blood of Jesus over him, Lord God. Hide behind the cross of Calvary, Father God. And do what you sent him here to do, Father God. Be equipped to build up and to strengthen the congregation that you placed in his care. I thank God we're on his watch. I thank God that we can know that the truth will go forth in strength and in power. But he never forgets to love. He never forgets to be humble and meek and gentle. But at the same time, you know when to be aligned. So I thank God for our pastor today. I search the heart of each man. I pray, Father God, that the heart of each man and woman here, anything that would hinder this word from going forward will be removed in the power of the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit, you're already here. Now have your way. It's in your son's name, but it's always for your glory. Amen and amen. All right? Yeah.
Well, here we are again on another Sunday. Thank the Lord. We are fighting a spiritual war. I appreciate you guys, all of you, men and women, young people, male and female, for being here. And we continue this quest of the gospel ministry and praise and worship, just hoping that all who are here are getting it. And that you are getting it in perspective. And that hopefully that perspective will bring you to a place where you're no longer walking for Christ, but you're running. And in your run, it's not a trot, it's a sprint. Because you realize that you don't have, none of us, this life is a breath. And it's gone. And you better do what you're going to do while you can do it. Because before you know it, it'll be over. And the last thing you want is to look back with regret. And think about what you could have done, but you were not poised in Christ to do it. I was over, my wife and I were over at an event yesterday for Black History Month. We have a little business. We try to run a little roll-off dumpster business. I don't know if it's running up most of the time. But we're over there, and I heard some things that were good and bad. We celebrate this month of Black History, but we don't do it right. We bring up God, but we don't honor him. He's always out front, but he's not Lord. And as I always have for 30-some-odd years, 40-some-odd years now, I remain confused. Not in myself, but for other people who can't seem to understand that race is not before Christ. I want to celebrate everybody, black, white, blue, aliens, whatever they are. But I want to do so rightly. And I heard things yesterday out there that just kind of bothered me in the sense that your ethnicity, I don't care who you are, is going to fade. It's not eternal. In the sense that you go into heaven and you can compartmentalize heaven by neighborhoods. It doesn't work that way. The love of Christ transcends ethnicity. Do you believe it? When you say amen, then you need to say it like you got some conviction about it. If you believe that Christ, his love, his agenda for the world is larger than your ethnicity, you got to live like that. You're going to be ridiculed for it, though, because there will be people that don't think like you. And there'll be people that call you names. You got to be able to rise above that. You got to be able to get above it. And you got to learn how to walk with people who don't look like you. Now, this is right here that I'm telling y'all, kind of leading me to the word. I'm not preaching about this. I'm preaching about something else in a minute. But we as Christian people have got to understand that if you're going to love rightly, you've got to build relationships across ethnic lines that last. Not these passive, I'm going to go to lunch with you, I'm going to go to dinner with you and invite you to my house once a year kind of stuff. That don't fly. I'm talking about being in my face and me being in your face all the time with relationship and love. Till if you're Mexican and you speak Spanish, I pick it up. That's how closely designed we ought to be walking. We have to get away from this stuff where you go back to your neighborhood and I go back to my neighborhood and we'll show up on Sundays together and act like it's real. We got to make it real through the week. Racism real? I don't care what color you are in here. You know what racism looks like. If you black, you experience it one way. If you white, you experience it another way. If you Mexican, you experience it another way. If you come from you're a mixed child or a mixed adult, you experience it from another way. But racism hadn't went away. And it's not going away as long as there are people. People are biased and racist and all of those things. Just make sure you're not one of them. Say amen a little louder. Just make sure you're not one of them. It's ugly. It's a very, very ugly thing. I have a book that my wife ordered me years ago that Time Magazine put out. It's called Without Sanctuary. It'll make your flesh crawl. At how primarily black people were treated. If we get over it, we have to. But I'm saying in this world that we're in as Christians, we have to demonstrate a different kind of love than what that book illustrates. People being hanged. I recall one black man's story. He worked for a white man, and they got in an argument about a raise. And at the end of the day, he didn't get it, but he was angry about it, and he threw a hatchet at the man that he was angry with, who was his boss. And it just so happened, it hit him in the head and split his skull and killed him. And they caught him, and they took him to jail. They brought him to court. Not only had he killed the man, they said that he had raped his wife. A lot of other things. This is testimony, actual testimony. And they took this man out and tied him to a tree. And they soaked wood in kerosene and put it around the tree. Then they soaked the tree and him in kerosene, and they set it on fire. And as his body was slowly burning, they cut off fingers, testicles. They even cut his heart out and divided into pieces. And people who had come from miles around took portions of his heart back to their boss and to their place where they resided. How does a human being reduce himself to such atrocity? But nevertheless, it's real. If we in our age in 2020 are going to demonstrate Christian love, we have to cross those boundaries with forgiveness. And we have to cross those boundaries with love. And we have to rebuild relationships that's been torn down with trust, with relationships. I'm black, you white, you got to be all right with my daughter marrying your son as Christians. You got to be all right with your son marrying my daughter. I got to be all right with that. Because they're going to do it. They already dating. They already doing it. We got some Blaxicans. What's the other one we call them? What do we call them? A Black Cajun. Got one of them. Beautiful kids. Some of y'all are too. I look around at some of y'all. Y'all know. But there are black people who hate that. And there are white people and Mexicans who hate that. But the reality is, nobody cares what you hate, they're going to do their thing. Whether you like it or not. And if you don't let them do it, they'll sneak around and do it. That's the way it is. And when you are Christians, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. You dig it? Okay. In the book of Revelation, there's a church called Sardis in chapter 3. Would you turn over there for a minute? I don't have a long time to hold you, but I appreciate your patience. How many of you believe the Word of God? Now, when I say that, how many believe it's absolute? We have a men's class on Sunday morning where we meet, and this morning I challenged them toward our retreat. We're going, and the guys have told you we had 60 spots open, primarily in the beginning. I think we're one beyond that, one or two or something beyond that. It's filled to capacity. So my engagement with them this morning was to start aiming their focus for that weekend. What is it that I need from that weekend? What have I not surrendered to God? What am I withholding from God? What have I not given that he's required? Who am I? And as your husband or your brother or your son or whoever it is goes, begin to pray now that God will meet them there. And start now. Aiming their conscience at who he is and what is required of him. There are men in this room who are struggling with issues. I deal with women some other time, but I'm talking to you. You're dealing and struggling with issues from pornography to lust to all kinds of things. Don't nobody know about it but you. People rave about us. People rave about me. I wish, as a pastor, I wish I was a better man. I wish I was a better husband, a better father. I wish all those things. But I don't fight this battle from what I am not. You better hear me. Because if you don't hear what I'm about to say and you miss this, you're going to remain in your silly state. I don't fight this Christian struggle over what I am not. Because what I am not has already been conquered in him. Been conquered in him. But wait, the way I fight this struggle is from the strength that he has given me. And one of the strengths that he has given me is that I don't give up on anybody. And I learn to love everybody. No matter who they are, no matter where they're at, and no matter what they are practicing and going through. When Christ died on the cross, he died for the thing you're struggling with. You ought to really say amen. You know what you're struggling with. You know the battles that you are fighting sometimes just to get up in the morning. And Christ died for your sin. And you got the audacity to whisper amen. You ought to be running around the church. Maybe that don't excite nobody for me or but me. But sometimes there are some of you whose lives are in living hell and God loves you anyway. Calm down, Pastor. I'm just trying to say what you won't admit. You're struggling. You battling with stuff in your mind, in your heart, and in your activity. You're struggling. You're anger. You're bitter. You're mad at everything and everybody. You're sitting there like you don't have a deliverer. You sitting there like the God I'm talking about is not able. Do you know he parted Red Sea? Do you know there was a man named Samson who said they cut his hair off and thought he didn't have strength anymore? He asked the little boy, lead me over to the pillars. He got over to the pillars and he said, Lord, I've corrupted my life in every way possible, so let me die with my enemies. And God gave him strength one more time, and he pushed those pillars apart. There was an enemy who came against God, and that was a man named Joshua. They were defeating their enemies, but they didn't have enough time because the sun was going down. That man prayed, and the Lord stopped the moon and the sun, and they conquered their enemies that day. Don't tell me about God not able. The problem is not God. The problem is you. Sardis, he says to this church, after he gave them a greeting, instruction was to write to the angel of the church of Sardis, thus says the one who has the seven spirits of God. You have a reputation for being alive, but you're dead. In other words, they had a good choir. They had a good preacher. They had a good usher board and a good praying team. They had a good church that served the needs of the community. Everybody in the community knew who they were because they had a name in the community. But the Lord said, and despite your name, or in spite of your name, I say you're dead. Be alert now and strengthen what remains that is about to die. So there is an implication that he said about them that they were dead, but not completely. Some of what you are, and it was talking to a church body, some of what you are still breathing. That fitting anybody? You dropped off, fell off, folks and forgot your name. You dead as far as church activity go, but the Lord is saying you're not dead yet completely. There's some stuff in you that I gave you that's remaining in you. Think about what it is and call it back to life. Think about what it is and strengthen it. Because there's some aspects of you that are not completely worthless yet. And that which is alive in you can resuscitate what you used to be. But in order for it to happen, you are going to have to strengthen it, not God. God will aid you and help you. But what he is telling you is, I didn't lead you away. And I'm not going to bring you back. If you want to get back, I'm going to stand by your side, but you're going to say, Lord, I'm drowning. Help me. Help me, Jesus. I am drowning. Bring me back to safety. That's what he's waiting on you to ask. Strengthen that which remains. In 2 Corinthians chapter 1. And you got to know that this book in 2 Corinthians, to any church, this is Paul's most intimate letter. This letter to the church imposed upon the individual a passion coming from Paul, Timothy, who was with him, that is attempting to bring the believer to a place where they discover, as Tony Evans would say in his word, you won't discover Jesus is all you need until Jesus is all you have. God is trying to get you to a point to make you understand that all the stuff you have in your life can't deliver you to him. It can't get you to him. And neither can you hide behind your stuff. You can't even hide from the voice of God under your stuff. He's calling to you wherever you are through whatever is blocking you from him. And he's not yelling either. He's just whispering because he knows your name. He knows your name. And sometimes when you go in your bedroom and you shut your door, you dive in your bed due to depression or frustration of the day or your life. His voice comes through the door, comes underneath the blankets and the pillow,
under the noise of the television and all the noise that's going on inside of your head, and he whispers your name. He says, Carla. He says, Roy. He says, Michael. I feel your pain. And I know your struggle. I know your depression because I felt it. He ain't, listen to me, you hide in here under these blankets and under this pillow, but I watched my son hang on a cross. And I watched my only child say to me, Father, have you forsaken me? I had to listen to his cry and cover his voice with the clouds that I created, trying to shield him from my presence because of his anguish and his suffering. But when he cried to me, it crawled through everything in creation. And I heard him, and I got a little frustrated, so I darkened the earth. And I stopped short of that. I called the rumbling of the earth. I started to destroy it, but I held my peace. I could hear him crying. And he says to you, under those covers and under those shields that you have set up, if you would but remove them and hear my voice, if you would just let my voice in, I could conquer your pain. I could conquer your depression. I could conquer your frustration, your bitterness, your anguish. And he comes beneath the pillow and the blankets to stare you in the eyes. And he said, and I can even wipe the tears. I can even wipe the tears from your eyes. He understands your ways, and he's acquainted with your grief. And so one verse out of this first chapter, verse 8, he says, we don't want you to be unaware, brothers and sisters. We don't want you to be unaware, brothers and sisters, of our affliction that took place in Asia. We were completely overwhelmed beyond our strength. Again, let me borrow from Dr. Evans a phrase that he used, and I want to express it. So there's a myth in the Christian church, and it's not just in the church. All of you have probably heard what I'm about to say to you. There's a myth in the Christian church and around the world that says God will not put on you. That's a lie. That's not the truth. I'm debunking everything you ever thought because you done quoted it many times. This verse that I just read to you, let me read it again. You see if the writer wasn't overwhelmed. He says, we don't want you to be unaware, brothers and sisters, of our affliction that took place in Asia. We were completely overwhelmed and beyond our strength. This verse implies, and I looked up the word overwhelmed. This is what it means. It means to suddenly be submerged without remedy, without help, and beyond your capacity to come back up. Paul in this letter is saying to them, I don't want y'all to be surprised. What happened to us overwhelmed us. Overwhelmed us to the degree that we couldn't overcome it in our own strength. Will the Lord allow things to happen to you that you can't come out of? You better believe he will. I'm going to ask you it this way. How many times has it happened to you? That things have happened to you in your life that overwhelmed you and you could do nothing about the pain you felt. In your strength, just you. I want to tell you something real frankly. This life will whoop your behind. This life will double you over, take your breath and won't give it back. This life, it doesn't matter whether you are in ministry. It doesn't matter whether you're the pastor of a church. It doesn't matter if you over this or over that. Life will come to you and knock your head off. Rip your clothes off and won't give them back. This life will strip you naked and make you run in the wind. This life cares nothing about you, and it will leave you so destitute till you will literally run in circles because you don't know what to do. You will say to yourself, what do I do? Oh, Lord, have mercy. You can't see a way out. You can't see a way over. You can't see a way through. In every direction you look, you defeated. Has life ever done you like that? How many situations have you been in when you were utterly overwhelmed? Not just in your head, but in your heart too. You couldn't figure it out. You always considered yourself half intelligent. You considered yourself maybe not the brightest bulb in the box, but you was at least lit. While you considered most of the bulbs in the box out, done. But there have been things that have hit you that have shaken you to the core. That have literally left you with your mouth open. And you said that you would never ask God, why me, Lord? And the very thing you said that you would never ask him, you end up asking him, why me? Why did this happen to me? You were overwhelmed by life. And I want to close with this. There's not but one that can give you the strength to come out victorious in anything you face or anything that faces you. When your heart is overwhelmed and your head can't handle the information, there is one who cares for you. He didn't put it in a song, but he put it in a word. He said it similar to this, that if I can count the lilies of the field, and if I know when the sparrow falls from the sky, and if I can number the sand on the seashore, surely, if I know the number of hairs on your head, you think your problem matters to me? You think I can't conquer your struggle? The problem is not I can't. You won't let me. Come on up. Somebody come sing something because somebody needs to know that God can do something with your something. want to pray with you. One of the things that the scripture requires is that you learn to die. And if you are embarrassed about your struggle, for people to know about it, that's one of the reasons you're in the condition you're in. People don't care nothing about you. They don't care anything about what you're going through. Or they'll listen to you and they'll try to offer a little empathy, a little sympathy. But you answer me this: what man or woman in this room can do anything about your condition? But I know one who stands with his arms open wide. And he beckons me to let you know this morning, all you who labor and are heavy laden, I will give you rest. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Come on. If that's you, come down here while they sing. Y'all going, oh, just say yes. That's good. You lead the way. If that's you, come pray. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. Come forward. Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. Do what you do. Yes. Hallelujah. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah.
of them I know, some I don't. I look at a young man sitting next door. What kind of problems could he have? But he bowed at the altar. God loves you, and we do too. God is good. Give him praise then. Yeah. Give him praise. You can quiet the meeting. Let things go around the altar have to leave so. Unless you want to come up and pray with me. Just quiet. Respect their time with the Lord.